Today's reading, we'll have two readings. The first is from Chunseongyang, Book 10, Chapter 3, Section 1, World Peace Through Religion. Religion, in a broad sense, refers to the mainstream of life that centers on God's side. That is why it advocates love, benevolence, civic virtue, and goodness. Religion does not pursue its own ambitions. Rather, it radiates goodness by benefiting the public. Through this, it transforms the spirits of the evil world and restores the evil world to the side of heaven. It does not directly fight evil, but promotes harmony and peace centered on goodness, and so creates an atmosphere of reconciliation. In order to deal with this evil world, the religious world needs to make a new beginning. That is, in order to influence its environment, it has to invest something new. Harmony, unity, and peace can come only when religions continually work for each other's sake, rather than telling their believers to work for them. This is the mainstream thought that has guided good religions throughout history. Luke 23, 39 to 43. One of the criminals who hung there hurled insults at him. "Aren't you the Messiah? Save yourself and us." But the other criminal rebuked him. "Don't you fear God," he said. "Since you are under the same sentence, we are punished justly. For we are getting what our deeds deserve, but this man has done nothing wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." Jesus answered him, "Truly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise." Adieu.
I really want to thank Masaki and our whole band. They always ask me the topic we are going to talk, and then they choose the songs, and always amazing songs which goes right into the topic of the sermon. Also, that's so good. Thank you so much, and thank you to Richard for that wonderful song, and also Carlson, your voice is so good. Thank you. And before we start the sermon, I want to take a moment to pray for the victims of that violent attack happened last Sunday, Easter morning. And also just in America, in San Diego, one synagogue was attacked by a young person who was going through his own challenges. And let's take a moment to offer a little prayer for them. Thank you. In Sri Lanka, that attack happened. I heard from some of the reports that some people who blew up, one person who blew up himself inside a church, came into the church by saying that I'm a Muslim, and then he exploded and he killed many people who were in the church worshiping God. And why would he even say that? Sri Lanka is a country just coming out of a huge problem between two different races. They have Sinhalese and Tamil people. We had so many years they were having problems between them. And then in this past 10-15 years, they were reconciling and they were building their country back to normal. And also, this country is not a country of religious violence. They never had that as a big problem. And Muslims in Sri Lanka are pretty good people. And I remember a year ago, there was a little bit of a radical person, a radical Muslim leader, was going to go to Sri Lanka from India, and then the Muslims in Sri Lanka said, please don't let him come in. We don't want that kind of spirit here. Sri Lankan Muslims are very, very kind of peaceful people. We want to have this peaceful living here together with the other religions here. And so we don't want extremist ideas and radicalism, those kind of things we don't want. That was the way they were living for centuries there. And now, just after this attack, this bombing in churches, I heard people started attacking Muslims in Sri Lanka. And I felt like, these violent people, whoever who blew up the churches there, they were able to achieve what they aimed for. Their aim was in killing Christians. Their goal is to destabilize the unity they have, destabilize the harmony a country has. And that's why they just took some bad guys clothed themselves as Muslims, and then they attacked Christians, and so they can, all the Christians in the world, or maybe other religions also, would attack Islamic people. That is the goal they have. And that's why they proclaim that, oh, we are Muslims, we are going to kill you. They are not Muslims. They are just satanic people. And please don't hate Muslims based on this kind of things. Please don't hate any religions based on this kind of things. A few years back, in 1992, in India, we had a big riot that was mainly between Hindus and Muslims in the biggest city of India, Mumbai, and that violence went on several days. And after, I remember reading an article in one of our national newspaper saying that imagine a world without religions, it would be much peaceful. And imagine if the religions weren't there, this kind of attacks wouldn't happen. That was the conclusion. But when you really study why and how that attack and that problem happened, it was not a religious problem. It was just violent people abused the name of religion. There were a lot of bad politicians. There were a lot of bad business people. There were gang leaders, and there were criminals. They just started attacking people there. And then they started shouting, we are Muslims and we are Hindus and things like that. And then it eventually, people see it as a religious problem. But it is not a religious problem. It is actually an attack towards all religions. People of Satan want to destroy people of God. And in that, today's reading, you saw that. So please understand that. And we need to pray for everyone. And in order to really achieve something greater, we need to stand up for each other and don't hate anyone. And by that, by loving each other, taking care of each other, we can restore back harmony. Thank you. Please pray for them. And today, I also want to thank, this weekend was very, very busy in our church. This Friday, NJIT CARP and all of our CARP team together, they organized a wonderful program in NJIT. I was talking about family relationships, and Mr. Allen spoke a wonderful talk he gave. And I want to thank our CARP team. And Sasha was there, and Keisetsu, Sasha, and all of our CARP leaders organized. Tomomi was there, and our witnessing team leaders and members, Takino-san and all the members were there. And let's give them a big round of applause for doing the right thing. Also, yesterday we had a wonderful blessing ceremony here in our church. And there were, I think, 3 couples and 1 single person. What's that? Oh, yeah. And it was really beautiful to see that. I could not fully attend that, but I just had glimpses of that. I was in a different program. And I want to thank and congratulate all of our brothers and sisters who invited those couples and organized this program together. And this is the right thing to do. And thank you so much. Let's give them a big round of applause. Also, yesterday we had a minister's education program, a divine principle education for Christian ministers. We had 12 ministers, then a lot of ministers from our own church, including Mr. Burns and many people. He came to check me how good I am in teaching. He told me that to frighten me that I'm going to check you. And it was really amazing how much these ministers soak into the principle. And they could see that the entire Bible is explained, and Bible is talking about the sexual purity. And Jesus, they could see that Jesus came to establish that. And I taught a little bit, Reverend Sykes taught, and it was really a great experience studying principle together with those Christian ministers and teaching with those Christian ministers. It was great. And I want to congratulate our ACLC team and to all of our brothers and sisters who made that happen. Thank you so much. Also, another big martial art education program, martial art training, as well as educating the young people who go through that training program. That also, amazingly, the same thing. Our goal is same, and we are supporting world peace through understanding martial art, through learning martial art. And we have a very active martial art dojo here. And for several years, our dojo leader, Mr. Nitro, and for Mr. Ryan Abanir used to be here. They are continuing that. And I want to thank them for doing that. This is a great training for our young people and bring the message of peace to everyone around them. It's not only our own members, but also there are many people from our neighborhood, from Clifton, attend this program. And let's thank them. Thank you so much. Today I'm going to talk about the promise Jesus have given to the thief who was in his right side while he was crucified. I gave this sermon in Reverend Sykes' church on Good Friday. And as I was preparing that sermon, and even after gave that sermon, it's kind of engraved into my heart. And that passage I was preparing myself to speak on, It's kind of in me for 3 weeks now. And I thought I want to share with you also what I shared with Reverend Sykes' congregation. We had 6 other Christian ministers with me, and I was there. I really enjoyed that, and I want to share that message with you. You know, to me, I felt like that words Jesus spoke to that thief on his right side, it was not just for him, it was to the entire humanity. It was for all of us. It was for anyone who see the need of God in their life, who see the need that I need something higher. I need the help from another person. To anyone who need help, anyone who looking for help, Jesus promised to them. And I want to talk about that. And of course, I feel like, that is the essence of the entire scriptures. And our true parents are also always telling us the same word, reminding us, keep reminding us. Let me read that. This is Luke 23:43. Jesus answered to him, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." Reverend Sykes asked me to give a sermon based on that passage. And that passage is from Gospel of Luke. Let me read a little bit more so you understand the context. This reading is from Luke 23:39 to 43. You just heard that from Hunduka reading. One of the criminals who hung there hurled insults at him. "Aren't you the Messiah? Save yourself and us." But the other criminal rebuked him. "Don't you fear God," he said, "since you are under the same sentence. We are punished justly, for we are getting what our deeds deserve. But this man has done nothing wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus answered, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." That's a promise Jesus given to that person. Ask him to remember me. That person's question was what he asked to Jesus. "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Just remember me when you come into your kingdom." But Jesus' reply was a promise to him. "I not only remember you, but I promise to you that you will be with me in paradise today." Every word in that passage is a great promise from Jesus. A promise God has given to humanity through Jesus. Think about that situation. What is Jesus doing there? Is he laying down or sitting in a couch or somewhere kind of resting and enjoying the time? What is Jesus doing? He is hanging on the cross. He is on the cross. He was nailed onto the cross in his hands and on his foot, and he is bleeding. And that time, he is telling to another person who asked him, please remember me, is telling him, yes, I will. Even more than that, I promise to you that today you will be with me in paradise. And today, he said in present tense. And to me, I also felt when he said that words, he's also saying that I will be with you. That's the way I always hear that word, that passage. I always hear for some reason. I will be with you wherever you are. That is what Jesus is telling me. And he said, today, which means now. It is not tomorrow. It is not day after. It is not after he go through all Christian education and after he go through all the, learn all the principles and learn all 630 plus Jewish law and everything. No, he did not ask any of that, but told him, promised to him that you will be with me in my heaven. Today, right now. Jesus did not ask him how you confessed your mistakes, what kind of mistakes you have done, why you are convicted. Did you do something really bad? Did you do something forgivable? Jesus did not even ask him, have you received baptism? Even Jesus went through that. But Jesus, when he promised to that person that you will be with me in heaven, you will be with me in paradise, Jesus did not even ask, have you received baptism? Are you a Jewish person? Are you a Gentile? Are you one of them who even shouted to crucify me? What did you do? He did not ask any of that, but promised to him that today, when I think about promises, many times I think about, when I used to fundraise for our church, and especially I remember the time I did a lot of fundraising in Korea. I was always asking for donations for our activities and our social service programs we used to do in India. Sometimes some people would say, no, can you give me some supporters? Some people say, no. Some people would think and then give later. Give a little bit after thinking and asking more details, they would give. And if somebody said no, I would ask them again. If somebody say, I'll give you later, I usually just move on. In Korean, they say tame. That means to me always it's like an absolute no, even more strong no than no. Don't even ask them anymore. If they promise you later, don't ask. That's it. And here, when Jesus say it's not later, when you say, you have the saying that, I'll give it tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. And if somebody say now, okay, I will give you now, that is the real deal. That's a promise. That happening right now. That's what Jesus did to that person. I will give you my presence to you right now. And that's because that was the most compassionate heart of Jesus showing to another person. And that is the mission of the Messiah. The Messiah came here to stand up with another person and bring that person with him into the presence of God, into the presence of Heavenly Parent. And here, we are people who are just like Jesus, anointed by our Heavenly Parent through Jesus and through our true parents to be the Messiahs. Today, even True Mother's speech, True Mother speaking to us in that video, I hope you read that subtitles. True Mother saying to us, you are messiahs, tribal messiahs, national messiahs, and world-level messiahs who are anointed to save people, bring healings to people, and stand together with people and understand another person and bring God's healings to those people. And we can learn from this passage that we are anointed to stand together with someone who need God's presence, who are looking for, asking for prayers, just asking, Jesus, can you please remember me? Sometimes it's our children who may be asking it to us many times in a non-verbal way. They ask us, please remember us. Sometimes when they are showing their anger and upset and frustration, it is their request to us that, I'm here. Can you give me little attention? And many times when we think about saving people or helping people, we think about really I think all of us think in many, many different ways. Some of us think in a very macro level, like how can I work with other religions? And some of us think about how can I help our children? Everyone, all of us, looking for a presence of another human being who can understand them. Even in this reading today, we heard two parents talking about world peace through religion. And it is not talking about that religion is the only way for world peace, but one way. And it says that religion, in a broad sense, refers to the mainstream of life that centers on God's side. That's why it advocates love, benevolence, civic virtues, and goodness. It radiates goodness by benefiting the public Through this, it transforms the spirits of the evil world and restores the evil world to the side of heaven. It does not directly fight evil, but promotes harmony and world and peace centered on goodness, and so creates an atmosphere of reconciliation. And for me, that's also the promise Jesus was given to humanity. All religions are, the essence of all religions are the same. That promise God given to humanity, that I am with you, I will be with you, and you will be with me. In essence, all religions are saying to other people that we are with you. We are here to understand you. We are here to create a divine culture through which everyone can experience peace and harmony. And not only in a very big, large scale, we have to think about that in my own personal level. How am I fulfilling that promise I inherited from God, from Jesus, from true parents? Let us fulfill that in our own families, in our own little communities we have. And when we, without judgment, when we do that, we can truly, truly fulfill what God is expecting from us. Here it says, and religions cannot, it's not about fighting and bringing someone or defeating someone, but it is about sharing the love God has, and through sharing the love, we bring people to voluntary submission, and we create a culture where we take care of each other. And that way, we will create that heaven Jesus was talking about. And that's what always our true parents are talking about. But most of the time, we think about how should I get help? Who should help me? Why I'm not being helped by other people? But Jesus wasn't thinking about that. And that is the beauty, and that is the model true parents are showing to us. Jesus is showing to us. When Jesus was on that cross, he wasn't thinking about even when he was ridiculed by another person, he did not get upset about that. He did not feel angry about that, but still he was totally in focus on continuing his mission, still on that cross. Many times in our lives, we often think, God, change my situation, make my life a little better. Make my life, let me finish my school years. Let me find a job and let me make money. Then I can help someone. Sometimes we think, let me raise my children right now, and after they move out, after they find job, and I can think about helping other people. But you focus right there on helping your children and really educate them well, and that is the role right now you have. And every situation we are right now, that's a situation we are put into because there is something we can resolve there. And we can heal someone else, whatever the situation we are. And true parents went through a lot of suffering in their life. Those sufferings never become an excuse for them to go away from their responsibility. They were continuing all the time what God has asked them to do. And Jesus, while he was on the cross, he still continued his messianic mission. And we may be in a certain situation because there may be someone near to us who need our help. But most of the time, we look around people around us and then think that, who can help me? Why he is not helping me? Why she is not helping me? Jesus could ask those two people, you should pray for me. I'm the Messiah. You pray to God that I'm out of this situation so I can help you. No, he wasn't thinking that way. And look around wherever you are and think and see who need my help. Who can I help? And who is looking for a little support? Who is looking for a little understanding? Maybe those two thieves on his both side of Jesus. When you think about them, they are outcasted people. They are sentenced to death because they did something probably wrong. And that society did not want them to be alive. But for God, they are God's children. For God, they have equal value just as anyone else who lived there during that time. God needed to show mercy towards them. God needed to show love towards them. And love doesn't mean that you love the most lovable person. You just love the most wonderful person who always help you and who always do good things to you. But love means love every child of God, even though they don't make you happy. You know, sometimes we love our spouse, especially men love their wives because they cook very well. Even Mr. Benz tells me sometimes, all the time. And I'm no excuse. And the real love means, what God is really asking us to do is keep that same love even when they don't cook for you, even when they are upset towards you. And that's not just for men, for women also. Keep loving us even when we don't follow all the things you want us to do. Do you understand? That's what God's real love means. We have to be an embodiment of God's concern towards our fellow human being, our family members, our neighbors, and everyone around us. Even some of those nasty bosses we have to have a concern towards them. Many times they are like that because the way they grew up may be different from the way we grew up. And we have to have a compassionate heart, just as Jesus had a compassionate heart towards that thief. We all received the greatest blessing in this world, not just because we did and fulfilled the conditions and the things our true parents asked us to do. And of course, most of us could never fulfill everything true parents ask us to do. Maybe none of us could, but still they poured us their love towards us, which is God's love. And we need to do the same, even if the people around us aren't really doing that. It is our responsibility is love people, serve people, and see God in them, and see them as a child of God. In that way, we can truly, we are telling them that I will be with you no matter what. And if I go to heaven, if I'm in heaven, you will be with me in heaven. And that's the only way heaven can be realized. Heaven cannot be realized if we, as the entire Unification Church members, we think we are the only ones go to heaven. No way. And we can't create a heaven with only Christians or only Jewish people or only Muslims. And God created all these people as God's children. And we even need to cooperate with everyone in this world. And if we go to heaven, we will be together. And otherwise, there won't be a heaven if even one of that God's child is still in the hell. It's that heaven can't be created. And let us think about how deep promise God has given to them. I will be with you. If you still live in hell, I am with you in the hell. So if I go to heaven, you will be with me. And we will create that together. And that is the promise God wants all of us to give everyone around us. And when we do that with our honest heart, our real care towards another person, we will be able to create that heavenly kingdom sooner than later. And that is what our true parents are talking to us, telling us every speech they are giving to us recently. It's always reminding us who we are and what we should do. Our true mother is thinking about everyone who go through difficulties and even thinking about preserving nature. And why is that? Because we are not just one generation living here and then going to heaven straight from here. No. We are creating that right here on this earth and continuing that life in the eternal spiritual world. We need to make our environment better, and we need to keep it for our future generations. And every little things we care. Through that, we are really, truly, truly creating heavenly kingdom. Let us be together with our true parents in creating that heavenly kingdom. Let us be together with Lord Jesus in creating that heavenly kingdom. Let us continue his mission, and let us continue as God's children, as anointed tribal messiahs, anointed children of God. Let us truly, truly be with our heavenly parent in telling them that, telling everyone, telling all of our siblings and all of our children and everyone around that, you will be with me in my paradise. You will be with me in my heaven, and you are part of my family. Thank you so much. God bless you.